Leeds United are set to play against Peterborough tomorrow. I think that's when I'll be releasing the video anyway. So it could be an interesting match. It's the FA Cup. Anything can happen. First up, I want you to let me know what you think. Result predictions in the comments would be quite nice because I always like to know what you guys think. A little bit of positivity, negativity, whatever you've got, shout it at me. So, before we get into the match itself, we need to talk about all the pre-match news. And from Leeds United, there is a hell of a lot, especially around various available and unavailable players. Mainly, significant issues at right back at the moment. So, as we all know, Spence is gone. Spence was sent back to Tottenham because attitude issues, injury, whatever the reasoning was. And in addition to that, we are still missing Sam Byron with a hamstring strain. He managed to ruin that in his most recent match, and that means he's not available for Peterborough. Makes sense. You don't want to risk players for an FA Cup match. In addition to that, Jamie Shackleton is still out for a couple more weeks, even though he was in training, and Luke Ayling is a doubt. He has trained, but we don't know if that's enough to be in the matchday squad. We don't know if that is enough to start against Peterborough, which means that we'll probably have to see Archie Gray start the match, which isn't ideal. In addition to that, we've got more issues in defence. The Pascal Struijk absence is going to be a little bit longer than was expected. Farke really wanted him back for the first match of the new year. We ended up beating Birmingham anyway without him, but he's still going to be unavailable for Peterborough. We don't know if he's going to be available for Cardiff. It's all up in the air at the minute. And Liam Cooper is apparently also a doubt. He picked up a little bit of a niggle in the most recent match, and we don't know if he's going to be fully fit for it, which is fun defensively. In addition to that, it is the final game of Ilham Melier's ban, which not too big of an issue. He probably wasn't going to play this anyway because it's an FA Cup match. But the news has worsened around Carl Darlow, who will miss 7 weeks of football with his injured thumb. In addition to that, Stuart Dallas is Stuart Dallas, still not available, still not fully training. Not great. So, with all that taken in mind, let's have a quick prediction of our lineup. I've gone for Christopher Clausen in goal. He did well enough against Birmingham to retain his spot, in my opinion. In front of him, I think it makes sense to play Archie Gray because you don't want to really risk a right back that isn't fully fit, especially when the only other right back is Archie Gray, who isn't a right back. Joe Rodon next to him because he's fully fit. You also don't want to rush anyone back in terms of a Liam Cooper, especially if Pascal Struijk is also out. So I've gone with Leo Hjelde at left centre-back. I know Farke hasn't really talked about him being part of his plans, but he can play there and it's Peterborough, so it shouldn't be too much of an issue. In my opinion, Junior Firpo keeps his spot at left-back as well, purely because I think he's good enough. That should be right, unless I've forgotten Hjelde going out on loan or something bizarre like that. Maybe someone like a Chris Moore could take that spot, but who knows. In midfield, I've gone with Ilya Gruev and Glenn Kamara. It doesn't feel like a sensible move to keep Ampadu playing, especially since he's played all but one of the minutes so far this season. Kamara staying in there makes sense. He had a rest fairly recently. Up top, I've gone for a hell of a lot of rotation. Nonto, Poveda and Joseph should be a pretty good setup. You've got Nonto, who we know is a talented enough winger, especially against the likes of Peterborough, who are a league below us. Jan Poveda has shown bits and bobs of talent and is clearly a rotation player in the squad. And Mateo Joseph is a youngster that we all want to see more of, but haven't had chance yet. He can also play off the left. Basically, we've got 3 players here that can play anywhere along that line of 3, which I think is quite interesting. And I've also got Patrick Bamford down as retaining his place. Scored a goal in the last game, hasn't had too many minutes, so this, I think, is a good match for him to keep his momentum up in. Question is, what can we expect from Peterborough? And this is always hard to find out because there's not that much data collected over League One, but I've done my best. I've had a look at a few scouting reports, and I've found that they use their fullbacks a hell of a lot when they're attacking. This means that their wingers will tuck in whilst the fullbacks bomb on and try and create a lot of chances. This means that they will also look to play aggressively. They've scored a lot of goals so far this season. I think 50, the highest scorers in League One. And their league position being, I think it's 2nd or 3rd, means that they are a team that is used to attacking, used to going forwards, and a home crowd will want to see a team that is willing to do what they're good at doing. However, there's going to be a lot of opportunities for us because they've conceded a lot considering their position in the league. They've conceded more than the teams around them, and we have a great opportunity to try and pin them back in defence. We also have a good opportunity to make use of the fact that we are good at transitional football. If they're a team that want to attack a little bit, brilliant. Do your worst because we've got a fairly good side here. And then when they've managed to destructure themselves by doing so, we can win the ball back. We've got fast players in the form of Poveda, Nonto, Joseph. Bamford's really good with his positioning and movement, and we can really capitalise on that and score a bunch of goals, ideally. My predictions for the match is no matter what, even if my starting lineup is wrong, we will get a heavily rotated, heavily rotated side from Daniel Farke, just because it's an opportunity to make sure that all the rest of the players are fit and healthy. And let's be honest, the result doesn't really matter. It's the FA Cup. Even if we win this, we will be drawn away to, I don't know, Fulham, and probably lose that. We're not going to win the FA Cup, to be blunt with it. So the result doesn't matter that much, and Daniel Farke knows the same. Championship results at the moment matter more than FA Cup results. So that's got to be the focus. Ultimately, I'm expecting a narrow victory for Leeds United, or a draw that forces us to play a replay and fills up the already packed schedule in a really annoying way. But yeah, that's what I think. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and let's hope we beat Peterborough. I will see you later.